It started on a quiet Thursday evening in late October, the kind of night that feels heavy in your chest, where the wind dies down just enough for silence to feel uncomfortable. I was living alone at the time, renting a small single-story house on the edge of town in Asheville, North Carolina. A quiet street lined with old oak trees and scattered porch lights that barely pierced the darkness. I had just finished dinner and was scrolling mindlessly through my phone on the couch. My dog, Charlie, was curled up by the door, snoring softly. Then the porch light flickered, just once, a fast, almost imperceptible blink. I paused, looked toward the window. Nothing. Maybe just old wiring. No big deal. I brushed it off and went to bed a little after midnight. The next night, same thing. Same flicker, same time. It was strange, but not quite disturbing yet. I mean, faulty porch lights aren't exactly front-page horror, but something about the timing nagged at me, like it wasn't random. And then I found the envelope. It was jammed halfway into the screen door. No stamp, no return address. Just my name scrawled across the front. Chris Walker, in shaky, uneven handwriting. I stood there holding it for a moment, listening to the soft wind rustling through the leaves. Something about it felt wrong, too deliberate, too personal. I brought it inside and tossed it on the coffee table. I didn't even open it right away. Maybe part of me didn't want to know. That night, I had trouble sleeping. Charlie kept pacing back and forth in the hallway, his nails clicking against the hardwood floor. Every time I dozed off, he'd let out a low growl or bark once into the dark, and then go quiet again. At around 2 a.m., I heard the sound. It was faint, a single creak, like weight pressing down on wood. I froze, listening hard. It wasn't the house settling. I'd lived there long enough to know its sounds. This was different, intentional. I crept to the front window and pulled the curtain just a sliver. Nothing. The porch was empty. I went back to bed, but sleep didn't come easy. Over the next few days, small things began to stack up. The back gate would be open in the morning, even though I locked it every night. The trash can was knocked over 2 days in a row. I started finding footprints, faint outlines in the dew-covered grass, circling the side of the house. And Charlie, he changed. He started sleeping under my bed, whimpering randomly through the night. He wouldn't go near the front door anymore, just stood there watching it from a distance, hackles up. Finally, after 3 days of ignoring it, I opened the envelope. Inside was a single photograph. It was a photo of my house, taken from outside, except the angle wasn't from the street. It was higher up, like it was taken from inside, possibly from my own bedroom window. But that made no sense. I hadn't left the house that night. No one else had access, unless they were inside. That photo flipped something in me. Paranoia, obsession. I tore the house apart that night, checking locks, closets, vents, the attic, everything. I even installed a baby monitor outside the front door, one I had from years ago when I briefly fostered a dog with separation anxiety. And for a few days, everything was still, until it wasn't. 3 nights later, 3:12 a.m., I shot up in bed, not from a sound, from a feeling. Like someone had been standing next to me, breathing, watching. I looked over to the baby monitor. It was glowing, static. Then, a voice, low, raspy, whispering something I couldn't understand. But it wasn't random. It was speaking directly into the mic. I stared at the screen, frozen. And then, a knock. Software. Deliberate. 3 quick taps against the front door. Tap, tap, tap. I sat there clutching the blanket like it was armor. I didn't move. I didn't even breathe. And then, silence. But the next morning, another envelope. This one was worse. Inside was a photo of me, sleeping, taken from the foot of my bed. The angle, the height, it was unmistakable. Someone had been in my room while I was unconscious. I started sleeping with a crowbar beside my bed. I nailed the windows shut, replaced the locks on every door. I reported it to the police, of course. They took it down as suspicious activity, but with no evidence, no prints, no forced entry. They said there was nothing they could do. I installed a motion sensor camera system the next day, and for 2 weeks, nothing. No photos, no knocks, no sounds, until the night the power went out. It was just past midnight. The lights cut out with a click, plunging the house into instant silence. Then, the porch light flickered back on. One flicker, then steady. I checked the security feed on my phone. Offline. Charlie was whining under the bed. I reached for the crowbar and crept toward the front window. The street was empty. I held my breath. And then, tap, tap, tap. The same knock, same rhythm. Only this time it came from the back door. I slowly backed away. And then I saw it. On the baby monitor, even though it was unplugged, the screen blinked on. A shadow, standing directly in front of the camera, head tilted slightly, watching, and then a smile. I left the next day, didn't pack, didn't clean, just grabbed what I could, shoved it into the car and drove. I didn't stop until I hit the border. Now I live in Edmonton, Alberta. New apartment, new number, new life. No social media, no mail forwarding, no contact with anyone who could give away where I am. I haven't told many people about what happened. Some wouldn't believe me, but I've been okay here for a while, until last week. I got home from work and found something slipped under my apartment door. An envelope. Inside, another photo, a picture of me, outside my new building, carrying groceries, and scrawled on the back in that same jagged, uneven handwriting. I don't know how he found me, but he did. And now every night before I sleep, I check the locks twice, because I know this isn't over, not even close. He's still out there, and he knows where I live.